Hi there, Facebook friends and family. It's Dawn coming to you at the beginning of an electric storm here in Sedona, so we'll see how well this goes. Oh, it's good to be here with you today. And as you join this, either live or later on, the first thing I want to do is welcome you. Secondly, I want to ask you to let me know that you are hearing this okay. You can give me a thumbs up, or in some other way, let me know that you're hearing it. And as I go along, hi Renza, hi. Mwah. As I'm going along, when you relate to something, please give me a thumbs up or some hearts so I know that it's landing. I also really invite your comments and questions and a request. If as we go along with today's message, you feel you either resonate or you feel that this message could serve someone else, please share it. Okay, so today, great, thank you. So today I pulled a card and it was very interesting. So what I did was drop in and I started to get some inklings of what the themes might be. So I'm going to show you the card first, and then I'm going to tune in and notice what wants to come forward as a message for it. So here's the card, and this is the Queen of Air in Tarot. So this is a feminine form of mental mastery. And this image in this particular deck is called morality. So when we look at this image, it's very like there's this woman with her hands very close in this sort of grid-like structure over her heart center, and a grid-like structure around her, and clouds in the background, the clouds representing the air. And so this is a card of mind and thought. And then the word morality. So when I look at this card, I have my own personal experience of it, and look at her mouth. There's this sort of tight rigidity to it, where her head is up in the clouds, but her body is sort of locked down. And there's something about the nature of morality that seems to be a topic we need to talk about in these times, because there is a lot of conflict around moral judgments of other people's choices. And I'm speaking also from the perspective of being in the United States right now, where there's just so much like Bailey hoopla around morality, and it's hard to see the forest for the trees anymore with the throwing around of moral judgments here and there. And so my tuning into this, my question, and I would love to hear from you, so please provide your input. What the heck do we do with this? How do we align with our own inner moral compass, that we may walk in the world with loving kindness and respect, and clear, healthy boundaries for ourselves, and simultaneously do what we can to be sure we are not jumping on bandwagons of finger-pointing morality at others. And this is a very, very challenging thing, because the ego mind, as opposed to the divine mind, as opposed to the wisdom self, would very easily jump on the moral bandwagon based on whatever our own moral values are. The ego mind also can go very easily on attack when someone attacks us first, or when someone offends us with their opinions or judgments. And so there's not necessarily a clear-cut answer to this. And for me, it's really about dropping inward, going into the silent space of receptivity, asking to be guided by the divine, asking to pour love into the situation as much as possible. And then from there, really tuning into what is my value system, does this align or not? And then making choices accordingly. Now, that doesn't mean that I have to blow my attitude out with moral indignation on others. But I see this happening a lot on Facebook. I see it happening a lot in all kinds of arenas, whether you're talking about things like gay marriage or the refugee situation or the, immigrants, or the President of the United States, or other kinds of topics where people are very polarized in their decisions, and they can get very locked into their belief so much so that they cannot see the forest for the trees. Locked in. And this kind of morality is really different than tuning into the divine energy. God, Goddess, divine, please guide me, please be present with me, come, be with me now as I tune into my love space and what my own moral compass is when I need to make certain kinds of decisions. So that card, then I pulled a second clarification card. This is the image that came up, which is the King of Fire, and this, what does it say? The Creator. So this is an energy, thank you for the love. This is an energy, look at that glowing solar plexus. So this is an energy of someone who is willing into creation. They're willing something into creation, but from the place of centeredness and peace and calm. Look at that face. Look at how different that face is. It's a very calm face. It's a face with eyes closed and an internal look with the lotus around the crown there and the luminous light of divine guidance around the crown. And so I really believe that when we get triggered by things, our best bet is to go inward first. To go inward first and really pray and really tune into the Creator energy, whether you see that as God, Goddess, the divine, the great mystery, doesn't matter. Spirit, higher self, guides and angels, just really going inward first, tuning in, breathing, activating our own wisdom center first before pointing the fingers, because when we point the finger out, guess what? 3 come back, right? Before pointing the finger or before reacting to a situation that's triggering us. So going inward and really tuning into what is my moral compass about this. Because here's the thing. When we do that, you know what happens? We can speak our truth from the place of love. Sometimes speaking the truth will still piss someone else off, especially if they're receiving it from the ego perspective. And we don't have to do it in an attacking way. Sometimes we need to create a kind of boundary with others because of the toxicity, because of the attacking nature, because they're doing this morality toward us or whatever. Many things. But we don't have to do it in an attacking way or in a moral way, a morality way that sort of diminishes or insults someone else's beliefs. Hi there, Suzanne. Welcome. It is possible for us to look at morality based on external structures that get very rigid and have a closed mind, to look at them, to even receive an attack of them, and then rather than reacting back and attacking back with the same frequency, saying, wait, I have to pause, I have to pray, I have to go inward, I have to ask the divine for guidance and tune into my own divine creator self, activate my own personal will so that I honor my own boundaries, but from the space of love and compassion for yourself, for the divine, well, for the divine first, self next, and for others. From that point, expressing your opinion, your boundaries, your whatever it is that needs to be engaged. So, I get that sometimes we don't have the luxury of that pause. What do we do then? It's easy for me here on a Facebook video, or for us when we're engaging in a social media thing, to say, oh, wow, I am so triggered. Oh, thank you for feedback on the deck, Suzanne. Yes, it is. If I'm really triggered, to say, okay, wait, I'm triggered. I'm going to go in. I'm going to pause. I'm going to pray. I'm going to activate my love frequency, and then I'm going to respond, right? That's easy. But what if they're right in your face? What if you're at the water cooler at work, or you've got a really angry driver who's just like gotten in your face over something? Then what? Then what do? This is much more challenging, because this is when we get triggered into fight or flight and we can react very quickly. And this is where it's time to really drop in. And that could be taking a breath, eyes open, looking at the person, and committing ourselves back into our bodies, dropping into the belly area, the what's called the hora, or the your second chakra, the place of power. In women's medicine work, we often call it the womb space. So really just taking a breath, dropping in, and responding from there. And this doesn't necessarily mean that the person on the other end who's already in attack mode is going to get it. But what it will mean is that you come to your own personal power space before you respond. So it's, it's like that. In self-defense, when I taught the martial arts years ago, the first thing I would tell women if someone attacked them or grabbed them is breathe. Breathe. Drop in. Drop into your body. Because when you do that, you ground yourself in your strength and power, and you bring oxygen to the muscles and oxygen to your brain, so you can actually do something reasonable and responsible, response-able, as opposed to going, because when you go, all your energy is up, and you could easily be kidnapped or taken away. You won't have the power to fight or the power to be present. So in this case, we're not talking about the power to fight. It's about really coming back to your center so you can respond. And yes, you're right. Morality is just triggering. It's all about your inner state. Exactly, Renza, exactly. I personally, when I see people doing morality judgments online, I don't get triggered. It's not the place of my trigger particularly, but I know a lot of people do right now. People are very, very polarized, and especially here in the United States these days. Oi, it's so intense. And right away ready to, you this, you that. So again, what can we do to stop contributing to that frequency? Come into the space of the breath, the body, and choose to respond in a way that is loving. And sometimes that means drawing a clear boundary. Sometimes that means speaking your truth from your own moral compass, from your own sense of what feels hurtful or has felt hurtful to you. And when you speak it from that space of this presence here, rather than reacting, it really shifts the energy. It'll shift it certainly for you. It may shift it in the relationship. It may not. It depends on how triggered the other person is. So let me just see here if there's anything else I want to say. Again, I want to request that if there's someone you know who could relate to this, I please ask that you share this video, because I know a lot of people are getting triggered these days. A lot of people are locked into their polarized opinions or beliefs about things without the breadth and the spaciousness to come into presence with what is and notice what needs to be shared and what maybe doesn't need to be shared. Sometimes it's not worth arguing with people who are really locked into this state. I mean, actually, always it's not really worth arguing with these people. Bless them and send them on their way. But it is worth setting boundaries with them sometimes. And it is worth drawing the line sometimes if they're crossing it and saying, this is not okay with me. It's not okay for this kind of communication, for this energy, for this whatever. Welcome, Peter. Hi there, my dear. Okay, there was something else I wanted to say about dropping into the body. So I talked about it in terms of self-defense, that when we are in a place where someone is confronting us intensely, it's very easy to get into this space. What do? We take a breath, we drop into the body, we reconnect with the spirit of love and our personal power. And then I also thought too, if you're in a public place and you might just take a breath and go, excuse me a minute, I just need to go to the bathroom. Just like, go to the bathroom. Like literally, go in a toilet stall and take some breaths. Do what you can. Hey there, hi, thank you for the love and the thumbs up. So do what you can to drop into that space of your own energy, your body, you're returning back to your center before engaging in someone else's moralizing, attacking, judging, and you behavior. So, there's no easy answer right now. We are in times of just a lot of stress for a lot of people, a lot of high vibrational frequencies and a lot of challenges astrologically that are setting people off within their astrological charts. And so even sometimes with the best of intentions, speaking with a loving voice, speaking your truth from your own eyes statements, can be misread when someone is in a really wounded victim space. And so we just have to honor that. And I just want to check here if I can scroll this. Yes, Suzanne, it's great to see you here. And name of deck. Okay. Hi, Helen. Hi, welcome, my dear. This is the Osho Zen deck. Here's what it looks like on the back. So I like this deck. I've been working with another deck too. I'm gonna have to make a video. Would any of you like to have a video on different kinds of decks and learn some things about different tarot decks and how to choose them? Let me know. Let me know if you do. But I like this deck because it kind of pulls no punches. So it works really well when I'm doing these Facebook Lives. Personally, I've been working with a deck called the Mythical Goddess, but I have like 35 decks or something, so I work with different ones at different times. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for the yes. Okay, so one person has voted for some more tarot stuff, so we'll do that on a different video. Okay, so I want to tune in now to notice if there's anything more that needs to come through about morality and how to deal with people who are in polarized positions of moral judgment in times when that is really not too helpful to foster communication, love, or understanding. So the second card I got was the Master, tuning in, closing your eyes, going inward, connecting with your own divine source, activating your own solar energies so that you are not in a place of needing to give up your boundaries. So sometimes people really are being so toxic and attacking in their morality that it's like, I think I have to cut this person out of my life. And it's as painful as that is, sometimes you have to do that. But how can you do it from the place of wisdom, guidance, love, compassion, and non-violence to the other person? I think that is what we're really looking at here. And it really comes to going inward. And there's another piece, going inward first, I should say. There's one more piece here I want to say before I begin to wrap up. So again, if you're liking this, if you're relating, if you have comments, please share your comments. Please give me a thumbs up if this is making any sense. Please share it with your friends. And one other thing I want to say. It's about this conversation that we started having, I believe, on yesterday's post. I know, Peter, you were part of this conversation, and a few others of you maybe who are here now or who watch this later, about compassion and boundaries. Compassion and boundaries. This is I think it's a worthy topic for, it's like its whole own thing, and I thought that's what I was going to end up talking about today, but then I pulled the card and I got something else. But I just want to touch on it here because there's a connection. And the connection has to do with you have the right to your own boundaries. You have the right to your own boundaries. And when you are able to find that place of loving compassion for the suffering of that person who seems to be standing in moral judgment, attacking your character, giving you a hard time at work, basically being a jerk, telling you your religion is wrong, blah, blah, blah. When you can come to that place by going inward first, by tuning into your own inner creator, your own inner master, and really come to that place of loving compassion, you will be able to set clear boundaries, and not from a place of cruelty, insult, or lack of compassion. Because let's face it, folks, there are some people who are hell-bent for leather on making you wrong and keeping you in the place of an oppositional enemy. And if you throw yourself and your loving compassion to them and keep, I'll stand here and hold the space as you are telling me what a shit I am, that is serving nothing and no one. It's giving permission for unkind behavior, and it's hurtful to you energetically. It's like not putting your oxygen mask on first on the airplane. So again, I say it is possible to have clear boundaries and also compassion for the other person and their suffering, which is the reason why they're in that rigid state or their judgmental state or their attacking state or whatever it is. And guess what? When you do that, it might not make anything better in the relationship at all for them. But you need to be in the place where you can take care of yourself enough to hold the love frequency energy for all of the planet, for your loved ones, for those people who do need you and who are willing to receive your energy in a loving way, your friendship, your siblinghood, your whatever. So if and when you do need to draw boundaries with people, I just want to invite you first to really tune into moving away from this energy and into this energy first, and then giving yourself permission and loving kindness to do any kind of boundary setting that needs to be set without judgment or hate on them. Because when people are in attack mode, underneath, if we were able to pick up the corner of that carpet and look underneath, what we would see is suffering. Okay, my dears, thank you for those of you who've been on the call, on the video here, and for those of you who watch it later. If there's any other shares, please share them here, and I will, as I always do, I will respond to your messages that I didn't get to here on the live chat, or the live video, whatever you call these things, Facebook Live. Okay, until probably tomorrow, I may do this again. We'll see. I think I've got some. Oh no, tomorrow I can't. Tomorrow I can't. We have a car crisis, and we have to deal with it. So anyway, I probably won't be able to tomorrow, but I'll do my best to come back on very soon, maybe Friday. Okay, my dears, much love to you. Sending bright blessings from rainy Sedona. Mwah.